Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call in to the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is also now syndicated on goodtalkradio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are live right now on Relics Radio. It is the last day of February the 28th of 2019, and we want to welcome all of our live listeners right now on Spreaker, and we also want to recognize and welcome all of our syndicated listeners on the Cutting Edge Radio Network and Good Talk Radio as well. I am your host, Digging with Seven.
And I'm your co-host, Tennessee Jeff. How you doing, Seven?
I'm doing good. I tell you what, we just passed 35,000 plays for this year. And looking at the graph, it's just a steady growth all the way through. That's amazing, isn't it?
That is. You mean to tell me that there's 35,000 people that want to listen to two rednecks and don't forget the half out there, but want to listen to us?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's our guest is what it is. I know we have great guests, and that's thanks to Mark Hoover, but I mean, that's the ones they want to listen to.
It is. Yeah, that's who they want to listen to. They don't want to listen to us. And one of our sponsors called or sent me a text today and wanting to know where we were at, where all the places that we were at, so that he could let some people know that he deals with. And I told him, I said, well, obviously we're on Spreaker, and we are also syndicated through the Cutting Edge Radio Network and Good Talk Radio. We're on iTunes, we're on iHeart, we're on Podbean, we're on Overcast, we're on Podcast Addict, we're on Google Podcast, we're on Pocket Cast, and believe this or not, there are 86 people that are listening to us on their Apple Watches. How about that?
Apple Watches? I can't even keep up with my cereal bowl, let alone keeping up with all the places that we're at on the radio. Goodness gracious.
But there is one thing. We need more people to click that follow button. We've got a lot of listeners that have not clicked that follow button. And if you don't do that, I don't know that we're going to give you the opportunity to win that Equinox 600 that we're going to give away, will we, Jeff?
We may not. I mean, if you don't click that follow button, you've got to follow the page. So, and then you've got to be on the page. You've got to be on that night to win it. So, but we need you to follow it, especially.
I don't know what we're going to do exactly about a criteria for the giveaway, but here's my idea, and we've kind of tossed it around a little bit. We're going to give that away in the month of March. You don't know what show we're going to do it, so you're going to have to listen to every program in March. And you're also going to have to go back and listen to every podcast in the month of January, because we're going to have some trivia questions that we're going to ask. And here's what I think we ought to do. I think because, somebody may say, well, Seven, he's giving it to one of his buddies, so he told him what the answer is. I'm going to come up with a question. Tennessee Jeff is going to come up with a question, and Mark is going to come up with a question, and we're not going to reveal those questions until the night of the show. In fact, we're just going to ask, I'm going to ask Jeff, what's your question? And then we'll have Mark on the line, and Mark give your question. And then That way, everybody knows that this whole thing is on the up and up. What do you think about that, Jeff?
That sounds good. And then, of course, I'm already thinking of a question. But I guess I've got a few more days to think about that. But, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's going to be hard for a lot of people that they may be sick or something at night and can't listen to it or something like that. But but it does sound like a good idea to come up with 3 different questions, because you're going to have people, like you said, it's going to be, he give it to one of his buddies, he give it to one of Mark's buddies, he give it to one of Jeff's buddies, or stuff like that. So.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about it. You can rest assured we're going to give it to a buddy, because everybody on here is our buddy. And so one of our friends is going to win it. There's no doubt about that. And we've got a ton of people. We normally are used to, before we went into syndication, we used to go through the list and name everybody that was in the show, but it's just got way too cumbersome. We've just got way too many people coming in, and our little old brains, we can't follow all that. There isn't any way.
No, buddy, the show was halfway over by the time I got done reading all the names. So.
Yes, it was. Let me address one thing that came up this afternoon. We had a couple of posts that came in on one of our affiliate Facebook group pages, Adventures in History, and we had to remove those posts, and we had to remove the person that posted those posts. They were very inappropriate. Remember, Relics Radio Facebook group page, Adventures in History Facebook group page are family-friendly shows. If you put something on there inappropriate, and by the way, thank you to the person that reached out to me and gave me a heads up on that. I'm not going to name you because I don't want you to face any kind of blowback because of that, but we certainly do appreciate what you did for us, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do, and if you put anything inappropriate on there, we're just going to take it off and kick you off the pages. I mean, there's no sense in it. There's really no sense, because this is a family-friendly show, and so
yeah,
it's Adventures with History. I mean, we don't want none of that stuff.
No, and we want to see your post. And a guy reached out to me during the week, and he said, "Can I promote my YouTube page on there?" I said, "Sure." That's what we want. This is a community of metal detectorists, treasure hunters. We want to see your adventures. We want to see your finds. We want you to promote your stuff. We even put all of the other podcasts on our Relics Radio Facebook group page. We put each of their shows. We share those, because I don't feel like we are in competition. I think we're all just one big family. And so we welcome those kind of things, But just a heads up, if you saw that post, our deepest apologies. It wasn't our doing, and we fixed it just as quick as we could. And one other thing is that we have had an absolute fantastic series of women in metal detecting, and we're going to conclude that tonight, aren't we?
We sure are, too. We sure are. It's the one and only Alison Walker. How you doing, Alice?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
I'm really, truly humbled and honored to be in the company of Lori Gagne, Carolyn, Gypsy, CB, but a lot of the women that are coming on to the scene now. I really am humbled.
Well, we make mention of this on each of these shows and this was I don't know that I've ever seen any podcast do what we did this month, and that is to highlight a certain group of people. Now, that comes with a liability sometimes, because we're not saying that the ones that we ran in February are the biggest or the best or the greatest or any of that, because we have had a full lineup of women. We've had Barb on. We've had Jocelyn on. We've had other women I can't think of, and I probably leave your name out. Now you're going to be mad at me. But we've had just a host of them, haven't we, Jeff?
We have, and then we've enjoyed every one we've had on the show. And you get the women up there, I mean, they know their stuff just as good as men do. I mean, They're really great hunters, and Buddy, they'll get out there and hunt with you just as good as anybody else. They'll hunt circles around most of us.
Well, the only one that I've had the pleasure of hunting with, and I would say that it's true with you too, is Barb. And I can attest to the fact that Barb is an absolute fantastic hunter. She's kind of our Miss DIV, and we're looking forward to having her on live with us at Virginia the 28th of March, and having her on as a guest again, along with other people that are there. But yeah, we've just had a fantastic time this month with this series of women in metal detecting, and so tonight is your night, Alison, and we are just absolutely delighted to have you. So why don't you give us just a little bit of background on yourself? What attracts you to metal detecting?
I've always been a tomboy through growing up in just the outside of Toronto in Rexdale, Southern Ontario in Canada. And I was at Kelly Shire's Breast Cancer Foundation, a golf tournament. And there was a metal detector there donated by Radio World, Jack Summers. And so I bid on it and had a couple of bids go back. And it was a beginner. It was a MindLab Xterra 305, the beginner. So soon after that, in the early summer, there was MindLab Day. And the first ever up in Toronto, Cherry Beach. And I went down and it was a seated hunt. And so I went out there and found a whole pile of coins and thought, oh, this is cool. And I took it I work for the city of Brampton now. And there was a coin shop, and I took it in and showed this guy, I got these coins, and where'd you get them from? And I went metal detecting for the first time, and I was just thrilled. He goes, oh, there's some rare coins here. And I've just been hooked ever since, and then went to the Radio World Spring Fling. It's a show and tell every spring Radio World puts on, and we get to meet other detectorists from the area, and a show and tell now, so you get to bring and talk about what you found in the past or what's important. And there's a lot of young people coming. There's prizes, which is just an added bonus, but the information and the new products coming out. So, but it's a great way to meet people. And I don't know, it's a little family now. I've met so many people, but I've moved up I met Steve Zazulik, who was my mentor, and I always follow him, and I watch and learn from every single detectorist out there that I follow, and secretly, probably. Steve was diving, and then soon after I went for my open water, but I always watch other people and watch and learn. But I bought an E-Track from him, a used E-Track. And then soon after I picked up the Excalibur, and then I picked up a second Excalibur because I converted the first one to a dive shaft with Anderson dive carbon fiber shaft, so for scuba dive detecting, and it makes a world of difference with the coil being a 1.5 feet, 2 feet away instead of 4 feet. And then I just picked up the Equinox 800, and that machine is just outstanding.
Wow, that sounds good. So, how many years did you say you'd been detecting?
I'm just coming into my 7th year of detecting, and I joined Ring Finders about 3 years ago.
Okay. In that time, do you normally just do ring finders, or do you relic hunt like old home sites? How does that work out?
I do both. I prefer being in the water. It's easier on these old bones. I love beach hunting, but I'm getting back into relic hunting. I've gained a number of farms for this summer. I'm going to be learning how to do research. I've been doing some digging with DJ Dowling, Red Beer Relic Hunter, and learning from him, and Pop Can Dan. There's so many in Southern Ontario that you can go out with. But it's just, you got to be patient and remember first starting. And there was, there's no spots. And then all of a sudden, there's parks and schools and then properties and learning. I joined some historical societies. Again, there was a tip from Steve Zulik. Go to historical meetings. I joined the Brampton Historical Meeting, and they had show and tell, and I brought rings in and coins that I bought off of Instagram from a guy in Croatia. They were Roman coins. There was one from 515 AD, and people would come up to me and say, "Oh, do you find rings?" And a guy lost his gold eagle ring at an apple farm. And what do you charge? And I said, for you, nothing. Because I know I'm going to get to detect the rest of the properties, mid 1800s. So I go and I bring another detector and I said, here, I want you to try this. So I give him and he goes, the ring was further up. But I said, but through my experience, I always start a good 50 feet back. First tree I come to, first signal on the brand new equinox was the guy's gold eagle ring.
Wow, that's great. So, what got you into water? What got you into water detecting?
I tell you what, but before you answer that, we've got to take a break right here and go to a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Seven, we's looking good in our new Redux Radio T-shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Mark Guthrie of Detectees.com done brung them to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. Detectees.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectees.com.
I might have should have held off on that commercial until a little bit later because that's a full dose of redneck right there, Allison.
You up here in the Great Lake North, eh?
Yeah, we want to highlight our Detectees.com T-shirts and hoodies and everything, and remind you that they do have all kinds of metal detecting apparel, but they also make T-shirts if your children are in sports. I know that they sell them at wrestling contests. They just sell every kind of shirt that you can imagine at the best price, and they're great shirts. So check those guys out. Didn't mean to cut you off there a while ago, Allison, but go ahead and answer Jeff's question then.
Yeah, I used to be a competitive swimmer. My twin and I have a twin sister, Gwen, and we swam at the Olympium. She missed the Olympics by 2/100ths of a second in freestyle. But again, always being a tomboy growing up. And two, that led me to my being the first journeyman power lineman in Canada through the MEA. But I've always, I'm a January Aquarian, so I'm attracted to water. But again, watching Steve Zulik and then getting on to the guys at Scuba Wise, Captain Carl Fismer, Captain Bradley Williamson, and Dive Master Mark Littleton, and just getting in the water and watching those guys and the treasures and dreaming about gold escudos and silver reals. But we have Wasaga Beach about an hour and a half north of here. It's 14-kilometer freshwater beach, and many people lose rings. I still have a stash of rings, and I truly believe I keep them to try and find the owners. I'll post every now and again because I believe, especially wedding bands, their sentiment, they mean something to someone. Some people don't care, but I'll never trade them. I'll never melt them down. And I like to see people, I have a much greater respect for people that return rings and items. But I just, being underwater, there's some treasures. I like being the only one in the water, to be honest.
And I'm sure
I like giving things back. But, there's waters everywhere. The old days where people used to swim.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of stuff still left in the waters.
Absolutely.
So on the ring finders deal, how did you get into that? And then do you remember your first ring that you found for someone?
Hey, good question.
Oh, yeah. I had just joined Ring Finders in, I believe it was June 2016. So I'm coming into my third year, and got a call from a young lady. Again, it was at Wasaga Beach, and she was 135 feet out from shore. Now, Wasaga goes out, and it goes to maybe 3 feet, and then it comes up to 2 feet, and then it goes to 4 feet, and there's a lot of up and down. And she gave me the area, and I tried 4 times, and I had just joined Ring Finders, and I said, no charge. I'm getting used to this. And again, following in Steve Zulik's footsteps, because he was already a ring finder, and talking to Christopher Turner, too. He's out in Vancouver, started the ringfinders.com probably 28 years ago. And I can't believe it. Still, 95% of the public do not know about this global organization. You go to Florida or Hawaii or Dominican or France, and they're all over the world. And if you guys go away and you want to fly me down, I'm more than happy to come on down. But she had lost her Vera Wang engagement ring and wedding band platinum. And I went on the 4th time, and I found it, and I actually cried. She wasn't there. She was actually at Beach 1. They have 6 beaches all within the Wasaga beaches. And I phoned her up, and I threw them in a Tim Hortons bag. That's our famous coffee donut place up here in Canada. And I videotaped, and I said, oh, yeah, I forgot to do a video, and I'm getting hungry. So, where are you guys at? And I met her at beach number between 1 and 2. And I did a little spiel, because watching Chris Turner, the look on their face when you actually find their item, rings, keys, jewelry, watches, cell phones. I've had tears, I've had screams, I've had hugs. Just makes it all worth it.
It sure does. I seen that video, and her actions was priceless. I mean, she was speechless actually when you handed her that bag, and she was like looking at you kind of funny, and then I guess it was her husband who was like, no, and then of course she opened it up and seen the rings, and of course, I mean, it was great just to watch that video. It tells the whole story right there. Her reaction. She
said there was no way we thought you would ever find it, and I found one, and then the next one was second scoop was maybe 4 feet away. I just concentrate. Now I'm a strict heavy gritter, and that goes below. This past summer I've learned I put what we have, these fiberglass rods, and I just found one. Still trying to come up with an attachment. Now they do an underground circular grid in 2 feet of silt. Like I've got to go back to Lake Dalrymple for a massive bracelet. It's going to be my 7th attempt. And if you know me, you know that I never give up. I'll keep going back. And a lot of times now I know what to charge roughly to cover my fuel and my time. But now when I did find her rings, I have a program, and it's called the Pay It Forward program, where when I find the client's item, instead of me getting a reward, I ask the client to then pay it forward. And, make a donation to the charity. I can't believe I always cry when I talk about this. But I snowmobile for the Kelly Shires Breast Cancer Foundation.
That is
a great foundation.
Absolutely.
And that lady,
Go ahead.
that lady turned around and she donated $500, and that's going to help someone with their treatment or wigs or medications or taxis or food on the table or rent. But it's not only women getting breast cancer, men are getting breast cancer too. So, but I think I'm up to about 35 recoveries, and I had a wallet recovery in the snow. Today during, I'm an inspector at the city, a traffic signal and streetlight inspector now. And I just went on my break. It was on my travels, and I said, "Hey, are you home?" And I found it within 10 minutes. But I have raised in 11 years, probably total $15,000.
Wow!
And this year was, I'm choking up here. This year was the 20th anniversary. And we've never been able to get over 500,000, and we've just gotten over $600,000.
Oh my goodness, that is
to
great.
Help people.
That is amazing. And you know what? My wife, she had some tests ran, and I know how emotional that can be, because we had a great fear that she had breast cancer. And it was during a holiday, prior to a holiday, she went and had a biopsy done, and they told us that it would be after the holidays before they called back. And, of course, we were just on pins and needles, just, you know, the emotion that a family goes through. And it was on a Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to get choked up too, that they called and she said, "It's not cancer." And it was the greatest news. She took time out of her own holiday to call us and give us that good news. And I'm just a firm believer that God works in people's lives sometimes like you, because with the extra time that He has given you and the extra health that He has given you, that you've done something absolutely marvelous with that. And through your efforts, you're going to help so many people. And, folks, we're talking about metal detecting. And yet, look how far-reaching that this really is, this hobby.
It reaches a long way. And, I mean, of course, everybody has their stories. And, of course, my wife, my mother-in-law, she passed away with ovarian cancer. Of course, this is not breast cancer, but ovarian cancer. And my wife, she went to the doctor, and we were in the middle of Florida on vacation, and she got the call, and she had ovarian cancer. And thank God it could be removed. And I mean, it was, I don't know, we got the call while we were there, and it just, I mean, devastated everyone. But thank God that everything could be removed. So.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
And I truly, truly believe that early detection saves lives. I also had volunteered for the Prostate Cancer Canada for 5 years. I'm in my 11th year with Kelly Shires, but for 5 years I was selling Rock the Road raffle tickets, and they have a massive, Prostate Cancer Canada has a massive network. And early detection saves lives. Don't wait till you're 50. And that goes for everyone on this page, everyone listening tonight. If you have signs, go get checked up. Detect early. And again, I am a cancer survivor. I had a rare anus cancer 9 years ago. And I'm a survivor, thank goodness. And I tell you that the first thing when you're told you have cancer is, am I going to live or am I going to die?
You know,
three girls, three young girls, and I'm thinking, good God, I'm going to fight this. And it was an eye-opener to my situation with my former husband. And you know what? I just live every day to the fullest. And I try to be a good person because of the way my parents brought me up with values and good, strong values, and being honest and being true to yourself, but true to other people, and paying it forward.
It
speaks volumes, and respect for others, no bullying, and none of this nonsense that goes on. But I tell you, you get a diagnosis like that, it just changes your life. I had 6 weeks of chemo and low dose radiation. And I always joke I got a free Brazilian without the pain. Sorry, guys.
Hey, guys, let's take a break right here. We need to pay a commercial or run a commercial.
Pay a bill.
Yeah, pay bills and run a commercial. I'm tore all to pieces. And we need to let everybody go get them some Kleenexes. And so let's play this. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Mine Lab, Garrett, XP Deus, and macro detectors and supplies, and also carries many aftermarket items. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any question that you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 or visit his website at www.murraybranchoutdoors.com, and be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you. And yes, do reach out to Murray Branch Outdoors and our good buddy Tim Henderson. He will treat you right, I guarantee you. And he not only sells those detectors, he uses them, and me and Jeff hunt with him. And he'll answer your questions. He'll give you the best deal that he can. And when you go to his website, murraybranchoutdoors.com, you'll see some prices there. But if you will call him on the phone number that was given there and also in the description of this show and tell him that you heard it on Relics Radio, you're going to get a special deal. I guarantee you that you are. In this segment right here, and this is already going to be probably one of our greatest shows. I see that already. You are also a lineman, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. My father was a journeyman power lineman at Toronto Hydro for almost 40 years. And, of course, with me being Little Miss Sporty, downhill skiing, helicopter skiing, base, 3-pitch, slow pitch. I ride a motorcycle now. I just got my full motorcycle license. I ride a 2012 Harley Davidson Fat Boy Low. What else? I had a snowmobile that I've been snowmobiling for 15 years or so. I had a Skidoo Freeride 154 800 E-Tech, which is a big mountain sled. And I always try and challenge myself. But I was a journeyman power lineman just a couple of years outside of high school, followed in my dad's footsteps, and thought, I'm going to try this. I started in the mailroom at Etobicoke Hydro, which is a suburb of Toronto, and went to mailroom to switchboard operator to cashier. And then I moved up to the Belfield yard and became a control room clerk typist. So I got to hear all about circuitry and feeders, high voltage 27.6 kV lines, feeders, and transformer stations, and the main stations, Ontario Hydro stations. And then I went down to be a stores clerk, which handled all the materials, transformers, insulators, conductors. And thought, yeah, you know what? Screw it. I want to go make the good money. I can do this. I'm tough and little Miss Sporty. And I talked to my dad, and there was no females, and I became the first female journeyman power lineman in Canada through the MEA, which is the Municipal Electrical Association program. So it's an apprenticeship for 4 years, and you went to Ontario Hydro Line School for your theory for 2 weeks for 4 years, and then you graduated with 8,000 hours, and you could write your provincial seal ticket, which you could go anywhere, but I didn't do that. I just stuck with Etobicoke Hydro. And then during 2000, there was an amalgamation of all the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area municipalities, with Etobicoke, Toronto being the biggest one, and Scarborough Hydro, East York Hydro, North York Hydro, Etobicoke Hydro, and York Hydro, and there was an amalgamation. And then things got really dicey. I had a couple of ladder fall accidents, but I had some beautiful fiber optic 65-foot double bucket trucks that I operated, and working on the high voltage with Class 4 rubber gloves. So that's 27,000 volts phase to phase, or 16,000 phase to ground. And there's our lower voltage was 13,800, 13.8, and 4 kV, which is normally on the street, which feeds your transformers and power banks for commercial buildings. But I've climbed poles, shoe soles, and assholes. Oops. Sorry about that word, but that was a saying, and I love watching the hydro guys in Brampton and Electra Power now. But I really miss it. I took the second buyout after the amalgamation for the reduction of workforce. I had a couple of more girls, like 2 more girls, number 2 and number 3. And then an opportunity came up with the city of Brampton, which was a traffic signal and streetlight inspector. So with my background of hydro, I was a shoo-in for the street lighting. I didn't know anything about traffic signals, but we have our contractors that we just make sure they adhere to our City of Brampton standards. And it's just amazing. I really miss hydro work, but I still make the same pretty decent wage, and I'm very lucky to have the benefits that I do, which, again, I pay it forward. I'm blessed and grateful for my benefits. I'm going to help somebody else.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I know, of course, I took some classes. We have a local phone company up north of me. It's Tri-County Electric. And I was trying for a job. And, of course, I'd put the little things on my feet, and then I started climbing the pole. And I climbed probably about 20 feet, and then I slid down 10 feet. Then I climbed 10 more, and I'd slide down more. Have you ever fell off of a pole?
No, but I've fallen off 2 ladders because I have an improper setup.
Now, that does something to you. Of course, when I slid, of course, they say the worst thing you do is grab the pole. And, of course, Unfortunately, it's real bad if you have like a fence right up under the pole. And, I mean, them fence posts are right there to just spear right through you. And of course, I mean, it's dangerous. And after I slid down several times, I was like, this job's not for me.
Big old boys don't need to be on poles
climbing.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And you can say like Glenn Campbell, you are a lineman for the county, or Motel 6. You kept the lights on for them.
Yeah, and up here now, I guess with all this women's lib, which I'm not fussy about, to each their own, but they call it line technicians now up here. But my certificate says journeyman power lineman, and that's what I am. Yeah. That's what I call myself. I will not ever change that. I earned that right. So.
You did. If you were there anytime, you earned the right. I promise you. That's a rough job. I mean, all kinds of weather, especially the weather you have up there, minus 23 degrees Celsius, and, I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, the tower workers, they have it much worse. They're, traveling gangs and isolated locations, and it's crazy. But you know what? We take our hydro for granted, and you got to thank those guys. You think they're standing on the ground, but it's a safety to watch who's up in the air, and it's a team effort again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about snowmobiles. Do you ever take your snowmobiles to a place you're going to relic hunt?
No, we don't. We get so much snow with the frost in the ground. We don't. I might try ice diving, but I bought my big snowmobile. We have a long distance endurance race called Cane's Quest out in the east coast of Canada. I believe the U.S. long distance race is the Iron Dog up in Alaska, which they just had that a week or so ago. But again, through a bad divorce and trying to make a new path, a new challenge to get up over, I call it a mountain and back down, I enticed one of the ladies up in Cochrane, Ontario, where they have an amazing winter wonderland and trails, amazing trails. And we were going to be the first female team to enter Cane's Quest in the last race. It's every 2 years, but I had minor knee surgery on my knee and developed a DVT, a blood clot in my right calf, so that messed up that crazy goal that I wanted to accomplish. It was, I just, sometimes I put myself out there and just go after something that's insane just to see if I can do it, right?
Yeah, it sounds like you could have completed every bit of it if you hadn't had that blood clot. But I mean, you are a tough lady.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Being up on them telephone poles, though, you can kind of scout out some places to detect, can't you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I love the old insulators. I've never found one. The old glass insulators, I think they're beautiful. Yeah,
we find a few of those. The clear ones here, of course, you just incidentally find those because they're glass. But sometimes, when you're digging, you find those kind of things.
Yeah.
And
we had a good friend of ours, Woody Jones. He had a question. Do you dive in the winter? Do you use a dry suit?
I have bought my first dry suit, but I'm not certified in it yet. And they do ice dives up here. I do want to take one, but I want to get I am open water certified only, and I'm going for my nitrox and my dry suit certification, as well as eventually my advanced open water. But I have all the gear. I bought it the first day I went to the open water course because, again, I'm a water baby. And when I like something, I just latch on and I go full tilt. Unfortunately, I spend a lot of money, but if you love something, you just go for it. And the cost, I don't know. You live every day to the fullest, and I do. I try and do that.
That's right. And that's after the stuff that's you've been through, that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us run one more commercial, and we'll be right back. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And while we're talking about American Digger magazine, be sure and check out this issue, the January-February issue. My article on the Great Silver Horde is in that, and I'm also the producer and one of the co-hosts on Relic Roundup. And this past Monday night, we dealt with the Great Silver Horde, and we had as our guests Wes Stringer, Jeff Ford, and Chris Heimsoff. So if you get a chance, we'll go and check on that as well. Let's get back into dive detecting just a little bit, if you don't mind, Alison. What detectors did you say that you're using on your diving? And also, I'd like to know how many different locations have you dived? Not just in Canada, right?
No, not in Canada. I have my main one, and I have two units. Is the Mine Lab Excalibur 2. It goes 200 feet, but a certified diver usually can only go 110. I think my max so far I've been about 40 feet. Let's see. I usually dive dock areas. I found a beautiful $15,000 platinum engagement ring this past summer. It was my favorite find for the ring finders clients. And that was up in beautiful Cognishing Bay in Midland Penetang area. Great family. She was just hysterical. I found that in 2 minutes. And again, it's all about gridding. You have patience, and sometimes you regrid, and you keep asking questions to the client. You know, what were you doing? And you go through different scenarios. I'm trying to think where else. And again, Lake Dalrymple, I'm determined to get that bracelet. It was a wedding gift, and it's so weird, a small world. Her husband worked for my father at Toronto Hydro for 35 years.
Wow, it is
incredible.
A small world. That is
so
incredible.
I'm going back this summer. It's the Aurelia area. A couple of detectorists that have their dive license is going to be above me, just following. And I like to video. I've got a GoPro 7 now, and it takes amazing footage underwater, and it goes quite deep. But I was right after Hurricane Irma in October 21st, 2017. I was talking to Ed Kropsky. He's the ring finder. He's well over 100, maybe 120, 130 ring recoveries in New Jersey, and saw that he was going down to Scuba Wise, which is in the Keys in Florida. And I looked into it, and Captain Carl Frismer of the Atosha, Captain Bradley Williamson, and Dive Master Mark Littleton, who is in the house tonight, like in your house on the chat.
Oh, good.
I thought, this is a dream come true. I took through duty free. I picked up 3 big bottles of rum because I know they're pirates, right? And I went, and lo and behold, I get off the plane, and none of my scuba gear came.
No
They didn't
way.
put it on the plane. It got searched and left behind. So I get down, go rent my car, and drive down the Keys, and I'm just like, Mark goes, you know what? Don't worry about it. We're going to look after you. And they were just unreal. I could sit and listen to Captain Fizz and the gang for weeks on end, the stories, and he just, he reminds me like a grandfather, and you could just listen to him, and the love that he had for some of the most amazing hunters, like Jack Haskins. There's this picture that it brings a tear to my eye, and what a decent human being. Jack Haskins was, I think, one of the original, Mark would know, he could maybe post, but one of the original treasure hunters with Mel Fisher Museum. And I just find it mind-blowing that there's, I don't know, Mark, you would know, 3 billion still in treasure. And I know there's a lot of regulations and rules, Spanish galleons coming over, and I just find it fascinating. I really hope to go back. We had a day show. We were not able to dive due to weather. These guys are professional, and when they say you can't dive, you don't dive. So we ended up going over to the History of Diving Museum after lunch, and again, that was years and years of diving stories and silver bars and just following Captain Fizz around and listening. Oh, I remember this, and it's just incredible. And the people we met, too, that were from all different parts. There was one gentleman, he won, what's the show on TLC? Maybe Mark Littleton can say, with the knife. He won the knife, Mark?
Fire and Forge.
Yes, that's it. When he was in our class.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible, the background of people. You know, a lot of them were just new to diving. And it just fascinates me. And trying to hook up and meeting Gary Drayton. I did get to meet Gary Drayton in Toronto this past summer at our big event. And following Gary Drayton, it just floors me to see all. Yes, Keith Hill. That's right, Mark. Keith Hill.
Yeah.
Was the winner.
And Gary Drayton, for those of you that don't know, that's lived under a rock, is the detectorist right now on the Curse of Oak Island, that series that's going on. And we're going to have Captain Carl on as a guest March the 14th. We just nailed that one down this week, so you'll have to tune in that night. I've got a question. The promo picture that we used of you when you're diving and you're diving next to a statue. Tell the story about that.
Yeah, so unfortunately we couldn't dive with Captain Fizz and the gang at Scuba Wise. So a few days later on the 25th, one of my good friends from the Kelly Shires, Dorothy, I call her Dee, she's a margarita mama, and her boyfriend is Andy Simon. He's, I think, in North or South Carolina. He's a dive master as well. Incredible. And they were in Florida at the time because there was Bike Week, I believe. And I got hooked up with them, and they said, oh, do you want to go? We're going to go check out some diving. Do you want to go since you didn't get to dive? And by that time, my luggage had arrived, and I had all my gear. And we went to, it was Rainbow Reef Dive Centers in Key Largo. And that statue is called Christ the Abyss. And I believe there's 3 or 5, maybe 3 in the world that they've, Cressy, which is a manufacturer of scuba dive equipment and accessories, have placed these concrete statues. And there was fire coral, I think they call it, where you touch and it burns your skin. We didn't go near that. We were warned about that. But after that Hurricane Irma, like even just coming into the Keys, it was devastating. Like there was nothing left. There was debris all over. And I didn't go past, I believe it was Taverner, or I guess Key Largo when we went to Rainbow Reef. And that's my first actual dive without any detecting gear. I was just dying to bring it. And I told the instructor I've maybe had 13 dives, but they're only maybe 10 to 40 feet of water. I've never actually just gone and dove and seen a reef. We saw a big, I can't think of the name of the fish. They're like a monster fish. Mark will type it in there. Groper.
We're going to have to...
Groper, yeah.
Groper.
One of the...
Not Groper.
A groper. That's that bullying you was talking about, them gropers. We're going to have to pay Mark Littleton tonight for putting all the answers in chat to the questions that we raise.
Yes, thank you. But this thing was massive. I think it was like 40 feet long. Like it was creepy looking. I've never seen anything like that. And they warned us to say, if you hear this whoop, whoop, you better get the heck out because it's going to swallow you whole. So you weren't supposed to antagonize it. But I got some amazing underground video and pictures, and the instructor actually took that picture. And I had a nice compliment that I was very good for being a newbie diver, and it's just, again, more from my background of being a swimmer and, watching. And Andy was a tremendous help, and always, how many bars are left, and I've got to redo that. I don't think I was originally trained properly, so I'm going to go back through all that with SSI. The first one was Patty There's SSI. There's all kinds of good companies out there. So,
yeah, I bet there is.
I can't wait to get back in the water.
Well, it was a beautiful picture, and I fell in love with it whenever I first seen it. And then the only color really on the thing that stuck out was the pink on your fin.
Yeah.
And so I copied that color and put in the Relics Radio logo and all of the font and everything, and it made a beautiful promo. It's one of the favorite ones that I've done. You had a question again too, didn't you, Jeff?
I did. Woody Jones, he wanted to know what your oldest find was, and then was it on land or water, your oldest find?
My oldest find so far was last fall in a farm field in Bellefontaine, which is a lovely little historic area not far from me. Every project I go to, I give it a nickname. So that nickname for that farm is called Project Ryan Ginger, because the farmer always brings out Ryan Gingers for a beverage. I don't give up last names or locations. I protect the privacy of the landowner. I have the ultimate respect for landowners and their properties. But it was an 1858 Canadian large cent, and it came out in incredible condition. I think that's the oldest find so far that I found.
Man, that's still a great find. Of course, we would love to hunt a lot of water around here, but where Seven and I live, the water's so nasty you can't see your hand in front of your face. Now, if I could get down to the Keys where the water was more clear, that would be pretty awesome.
Or you come up to Tobermory in Canada. There's a lot of shipwrecks. It is crystal clear, but freezing cold. I have a ring find. I'm going back for my third attempt, and I think I have it in a crack in a large boulder. But the water, you need a 7 mil wetsuit, or sometimes a 5 mil if it's been a good summer. But just beautiful, clear. Some areas in Georgian Bay. One of my ring finds there, a guy fell off a surfboard, went back to British Columbia. His mother owned a beautiful home there, hired me. We found the ring. I was lucky to find it was all boulders, but it was crystal clear. And I always find using my Excalibur too that it gives off a frequency, and the fish come and visit me. It's odd. You see the most amazing fish underwater.
That would be my luck. I would turn my detector on and a grouper would eat me. I mean, there you go. And then, of course, you can imagine me and Seven walking around with wetsuits on. We'd scare everything away.
That's the truth. Hey, guys, we got a caller on. Carlotta Brandenburg is on the line. What's going on, Carlotta?
Hi. I just want to say hi, Alison. You're inspirational. I have to say, listening to you chat has just been fantastic, and I would love to go dive with you sometime. So we have to plan something. Where would you like to go? What's your one place you'd really love to go dive?
After listening to your show, and Carlotta, CB and I have a lot in common. She's also a lineman, and she does beautiful quilts, and I do stained glass is another one of my hobbies, and we've been chatting. I'm going to come and see you sometime, and I can't wait to meet you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, but we need to pick someplace and go meet and go diving.
Sounds like a plan. Absolutely. I've got a few not so nice things on the future, but once I get through that, I'm going to make a plan with you.
What is the one place in the world, if you could pick somewhere to go dive, like your ultimate spot, where would that be?
Probably, I don't know. There's so many treasure diving with the Keys, or even there was an outdoor show here in Mississauga on the previous weekend, and I ran into a guy that ran a all-inclusive hotel area in Rotan. And just where I'm not keen about sharks or eels, but yeah, I've got a lot to learn still, and that's one thing I always want to keep learning. I don't want to shut off to say, I know everything. But just in beautiful water. Actually, Indonesia looks fabulous, or Portugal. Croatia looks fascinating. My family's from Scotland. But that's on my bucket list, the UK, Detectorville, or Scotland, some of the castles, but some Loch Ness. Maybe I'll see Nessie. But clear, somewhere clear and warm, and just where there's beauty and good people.
Wonderful. I hope to meet you there and go diving in someplace beautiful and warm.
Well, if I win the lottery soon, it'll be much sooner than later, I promise. And I'll treat.
Awesome. And it's been a pleasure listening to you.
Even though you're a Garrett individual. I
throw that one in, eh?
No, now she said Tim is the Garrett individual. CB's not.
Yeah, Tim is. No, I just tag along.
Yeah, I'm not fussy on what people swing as long as they're decent and, good people. Oh, well, that doesn't sound right. I'll swing with anyone. Sorry. See, I can blame that on our cold weather because my brain's not working. Or maybe I'll blame it on Redbeard. I was thinking about him. He's so silly, but he's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait
to
meet you,
someone
CB.
else can call in.
Hey, CB, thanks for the call. And I tell you what, guys, Tennessee Jeff and I, we are in a dream job right here, sitting right in the middle of all these legends and them talking back and forth. I didn't know a person could be so lucky. Did you, Jeff?
No, I didn't. I mean, of course, the stories we've heard, and of course, I hear your stories all the time, and of course, now I'm hearing new stories, and I'm like, man, these are some good stories, and of course, they're diving here, diving there, going here, going there, and I was like, why am I sitting in Tennessee? I need to get up and go somewhere.
Yeah, I know it. Hey, guys, the phone lines are open. We are past our syndication now, so we can open our phone lines. The number is 270-495-0315. Call in. Ask Alison a question. Alison, why don't you kind of address some of the things that, some of the pitfalls that you see for a new detectorist? Some of the mistakes that they might make.
One of the biggest one is not reading the manual. I think Lori and Eric from Relic Dirty Hands has done an amazing thing for the Equinox by putting out that series to make it easy to understand. Not everyone, and even myself, I'm not much of a reader, but to sit down and just be patient. I wish there was more clubs around and good clubs like Calgary out in Alberta has a really good club. Even if there's a ring loss, they'll send 5 guys out. They're not part of Ring Finders, but just hook up with someone that has a respect and learn the rules, but be patient. And to get to know historical groups and learn about history. I really want to be an ambassador for metal detecting and doing good deeds, like leaving items with the farmers. I don't care if I found a gold escudo or real or something, or Queen's jewels. Those are my bucket list items. I can't return them to the owner, so I'll have to keep them, but do good things. If you find a ring, try and find the owner, because you have a lot more respect, and people are going to come to you and ask you for help instead of someone else if they see that's what you're doing. But just be patient and read the manual and go to events and get to know other people, I think.
That's right. One of our main permissions here close to my house, Alison, of course, it's a very historical site, and of course, the landowners, they have display cases in the house now. 7 and I will give the landowner the relics and let them display them in the house. And of course, everybody loves that, and we've got into other permissions just doing that. So,
absolutely, yeah.
And it's always a good thing, to I really don't care about keeping all of my relics. They're not as important as the story that they tell and the adventure of doing research and then finding the spot and then finding them. And, of course, we record those things and we put them out on a YouTube video, and that's good enough for me. I've donated to landowners and was detecting today, and there was a man that just walked out into the field and saw me. I was at the picket post, Jeff, and he lived in a house close to it, and he said, I've been kind of thinking about buying a metal detector myself, and so I was only finding round balls, and so I told him, I said, these are from the Civil War, and I just handed them to him, and he was trying to give them back, and I said, oh, no, I want you to keep those. And he said, for real? I said, yeah, for real. I said, I've got jars of those things, And he said, you're a good guy. And, I said, well, not just because I gave you something, but, we're ambassadors for this hobby. And the way we act and the way that we treat people and things, I think goes a long way to preserving this hobby, don't you?
It really does. It really does. And, I mean, like we had that guy we were hunting with Jeff Ford and Wes that found the big silver hoard, and we were just standing there next to the truck, and then we were taking a lunch break, and then we had this guy pull up on a four-wheeler, and he was like, y'all found anything, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. And then, of course, he's like, well, I own this farm right here down the road. He said, y'all can come down there and check. There was an old church, and then, of course, that's where Wes found his, 1853 seated.
Yep. We got another call in. 2929 is your last four numbers. Who we got?
Kent Davis from Dirt Digging, PA.
Hey,
my brother Kent. I love you, Kent and Wendy. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's why we called in. We had to say hi to her sister, Allison.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
5.
4
or 5.
Allison comes down and helps us at our metal detecting hunt. She is one awesome person.
I think everybody that's listened to this program tonight would have to agree with that. Everybody that has heard this or will hear this is going to fall in love with this woman.
Oh, yeah. You can't help but love her.
No way in the world can you help but love her.
Wait, you guys have never experienced a Pink Power Alley squeezy hug, have you?
No.
Kent and Wendy have. And if
we have.
Size, I always try and lift the gentleman or woman up. I'm a picker-upper type of girl. But yeah, Kent and Wendy, they do an amazing job. Their hunts, the Dirt Digging PA, is coming up in May 18th and 19th in an Emporium, and they are family to me. I don't have much family. Most of my family's in Scotland. I lost a brother to suicide at 23. He hung himself, and that destroyed my parents. My dad passed of Alzheimer's, and my mom had a stroke. So, but I consider my family my digging family and my pink family, the Kelly Shires, and I feel they're all family to me. But
we've had the opportunity to metal detect with Allie down in New Jersey on the beach. That woman can detect. She can find anything.
Is she ferocious?
No, she's gentle.
Oh, is she? But a go-getter, I would expect.
That's what, and I told her a couple of weeks ago when I talked to her, I said, well, she always stays at our house. We have a special room upstairs. It's hers. And we even put a note on the door. It said Pink Power Alley's room last year. In pink. Yeah. And she's just wonderful to have here. Can't say enough good about her.
I'm very honored. Back at you. You have one of the best hunts I've ever been to. I mean, how quick was it sold out this year, Kent? Was it, 3 days?
This year? Okay, go back for our hunts. We had our first hunt 5 years ago, and we had 32 people. The second hunt was 107 people, and it sold out. It took about a month and a half, 2 months for that one. The third hunt took about a month. Last year's hunt, it was 36 hours. It was sold out. And this year it was 11 hours. It's just...
And who was the first person on the list for the last 2 years?
Yep, Alison Walker is first on the list for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Why didn't that surprise me?
But we enjoy...
Put that on radar next year.
She brings diggers down. She gives us diggers to give away. She helps us sell tickets. She helps do everything. I mean, she helps haul stuff over to the fairgrounds that we use. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, there's a few other people too that help us out the same way. Tom G, Shelley Harold, they're just the same.
Sue Ellen, yeah.
Sue Ellen, and Gary Haynes, yep, and Patrick O. Masters, Sean Showalter. They're all big helpers. Most of them stay here at our house. We only have, 2 extra rooms, and one person stays in the basement, and then we only have one bath, but we make it work. It's just a wonderful weekend.
It sounds like it. And, you have all them great people. Well, you're going to make it work. And then, of course, that's what you bring out, air mattresses and everything else. So, I mean, if I had a house full of people like that, I'd make it work too.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. You know, like last year I was busy doing a whole bunch of stuff, and they asked me where the tables were. I came back and boom, they had the tables all set up, and how's this look? It was better than the way I would have set it up. I said, that works. You know, it's just awesome to have a lot of help.
Yes, it is. And I tell you what, this whole community of metal detectors, we are a family, aren't we?
Yes, sir, we are.
And what a
I
great...
try to help everybody out that possibly can help out. And, we have a lot of people that send us donations for our hunt. We started our hunt working on it, before November, but we started taking reservations in November. And then we advertised, we had T-shirts we were selling, and like 65 of them gone. This year I decided I made some hats. I'm getting some hats made up. I'm going to, not a whole lot this time, but I'm sure they're going to go off they'll sell quick. And we don't do it to
contest. Kent,
yeah.
Pie eating contest this year. I'm going to win that hands down.
Pie eating. Now I can get in on some of that right there. Hey,
yeah, I may just drive up for the pie eating.
Yeah, much less the metal detecting and all the camaraderie.
There's a local restaurant that we all used to go to. We met there at night and Friday night before the hunt, and we packed that place, and they have a whole bunch of pies. Everybody gets slices of pies. Some people even bought whole pies. It just totally amazing. I told Allison this year if she's planning on coming down Wednesday. I told her, well, when she gets here, we'll have supper for her, and I'll make her a homemade pie too.
Hey guys, we got another call in, 7737. Who's on the line?
Hi, it's Pop Candan.
Hey,
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I just seen Joe DeMarco put pie at the cabin.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about the pie.
Yeah. Hey Kim,
also
go ahead.
Also for our hunt, we have a free kids hunt on Saturday. I mean, we got a ton of kids prizes. Joe DeMarco Detective Sales, he's donating, or he's sponsoring the kids hunt and donating a metal detector. And Frankie Bonanno, he helps out. He's going to be helping out Joe with the kids hunt. And the kids hunt's free for anybody that's hunting. They can bring a kid or 2 kids. Actually, Allison sponsored 2 kids from a guy that was an admin of ours and a helper. He passed away, but his kids, it's in honor of him.
Yeah, yeah.
So we do that, and his kids are allowed to hunt every year free.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you reach out to us on your next hunt? Just get a hold of us through the Relics Radio Facebook group page. Send us a message on that, and we will send you some stuff to support what you have. And we do appreciate your call, but we need to get to this other call here.
Okay, real quick, I just wanted to put one more little thing in there.
Okay.
We also go down and try to help out Joe DeMarco with the DSJ hunt, which is the Saturday after Labor Day. Yeah,
that's another great event with good people, family.
Vineland, New Jersey.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to run. I got to get off in here and head to bed. So
okay.
Nice talking to you guys all, and I will shoot you a message.
Okay. Thanks a lot for the call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I couldn't hear a while ago, but 7737, who did you say this was?
Hi, it's Pop Can Dan from Canada.
Okay.
Hello, Pop Can.
Go ahead. And
The Canadian hoser, Dano.
I just wanted to call to say hi to the Pink Power Rally, and just want to let you guys know that she is everything that is good about metal detecting.
Aw, you kill me, buddy.
and just
no, I'm telling you, when
I'm honored.
When you talk about an ambassador to the hobby, that she is, through and through the best we could find for that.
Yeah. Well, I may make you mad, but we're thinking about starting a GoFundMe page to raise money to move Alison down to the south of the United States here with us.
I've already got $500 already. I just did it seconds ago.
Yeah. I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Since we have 2 Canadians on the phone right now, how is your laws up there? What is the government's? I mean, do you have historical sites you can hunt? Do you have laws like that? What's your metal detecting laws?
Did you want to answer, Alison?
Oh, you can go. You're more of a relic hunter. All I know is the national properties. There's no detecting, but you would know more.
Yeah. I mean, I know we have heritage sites up here. We also have, I think you guys have national parks down there, national forests. Like we have provincial parks up here that are off limits. There's certain places that are off limits. Most of it comes through, just getting permissions. Like I know you guys down in the States, it's permissions are huge, and you want to make sure you're not hunting somewhere you shouldn't be. But there's a lot of heritage sites and stuff up here, but there are a lot of places if you can get permission too. So
okay, that sounds pretty much like the States.
Yeah. And I know there's some areas too, like I understand, I think it's Guelph that you have to buy a metal detecting license, and you can only detect maybe April to September. Maybe Hamilton might be another, but with Windsor, I heard there's some issues. I'm not sure about out east or out west. Out east, Dean would know. But I know you can't get caught on a national site. You'll be just strung up. And it just, again, it ruins, you're after that big fine, but it just ruins everyone.
It ruins it for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have stories like that. It was a couple of guys, I think this has been about 4 years now. They were caught on government property and national battlefields and stuff. And, man, I think they were like 3 years in the penitentiary, and the fines after they got out was unbelievable. And they even got all the relics, even if it was found on that site or not. They took every one of the relics, and it was like $20,000 or $40,000 for just digging and messing up the foliage, like the trees or grass. And it's a no-no around here.
And it's so hard to get a foot ahead in the detecting community to show people that, you know, we're not criminals and we're not, and then it's something like that puts you like 5-6 steps backwards, you know?
That's right. We take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't take but 1 or 2 to mess it up for everybody. And so, obviously, one thing that we always stress on this show is, you know, abide by the laws, do things in the right way. And we've got another caller, 1635, your last 4 numbers. Who have we got? Have you got a question for Alison?
I don't have a question. I just want to tell you how darn good she is. I tell you what, this might be a certain weirdo with a beard when I can't let the pop can man call in and show me up. I just wanted to tell you guys a little story about Allie.
Yeah.
You know what? We filmed a video with Allie, right? And I tell you what, we went out to this farm field that she has, and she totally outdid Dan and I. This girl is the real deal. And Dan's right. Talk about the perfect person for the hobby. That's it right there that you're talking
to. It sounds like. And I guess this is Red, right?
It is the weirdo with the beardo, Red Beard Relic Hunter. And also a good hunting buddy of Miss Allie there.
She talks highly of you, and then, of course, I hope to see a lot more videos from you guys when you start, if you post stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We're gonna definitely try and get her out quite a bit this year because we just want to show the world how great she is, and she's gonna show us up, and we know it. So we're ready to take that whooping.
I tell you what, and I know that you're going to agree with what I've already said, but everybody that's listened to this show has fell in love with this woman, haven't they?
Yeah, I called to tell you can't have her. You're not allowed to have her. She's ours. She's our treasure, so you can't have her.
Okay, DJ, you just lost your spot on the show then.
Hey, you know what? She's too good to give away. I'll trade you Pop Can Dan for her.
Okay.
You have Dan, and we'll keep her in Canada.
I don't have my green card.
That's okay. They let them in every day.
You see these guys I get to dig with, they just make every outing worthwhile, I tell you. It's not, fines are great, but it's the people you're with, buddy.
I can tell that y'all have a blast whenever you get to hunt together.
Yeah, can't wait. We can't wait to get this snow melted and get going. We've got some pretty incredible properties lined up. I know I've got a few, so can't wait.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you the one problem with digging with Alison is she's a really pretty girl, and then you get a guy like me in there, and then suddenly they look really good, and it's like, oh, man, I need to start wearing a mask. You know what? She honestly, I'm going to make this short and sweet because I don't want to take up too much of her time, but you're listening to The Real Deal, and you got to check her out on YouTube and everything. She's awesome.
I'm going to get some pink shirts for you guys, and you'll look prettier. I tell you, it's the way you interact with people and how you, you don't go up and bring a detector. You talk to them and say, hey, this is, these are some of my items, and they get interested. And then maybe you go back, or maybe they say, hey, can I try that? And I always try and get them involved, but, these guys are the real deal as well. So I'm just honored to be amongst the clan Beardo with the weirdo.
All right, boys, I got to go, but thanks so much for having such an awesome person on, and I'm going to keep listening because I don't want to miss any of this.
Okay, DJ, and by the way, DJ's going to be our guest on March the 21st. We're going to let him have a pass on not letting us have Alison and let him come on and be our guest. But I'll tell you something, DJ, I've got an idea for a thumbnail for any of the videos that you guys do with Alison. Just go with the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Alison.
I think he should paint his beard pink.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good promotion. Yeah.
Put some pink shirts on him and paint his beard pink, and there you go. You got it. What is on
speaking
your...
Speaking of shirt...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was thinking... Well, we were talking about shirts. Well, we're going to give you a pink Relics Radio hoodie from detectives.com. So, and
woohoo! Oh, that's awesome.
Now
if you would like the pink hoodie, you can have a t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, or a hoodie.
Take the hoodie. You live in cold. You live up here in
hoodie for sure.
Yeah, minus 23. That's
awesome.
that's a no-brainer. Yeah. What have you got upcoming for this next year?
Well, of course, Dirt Digging PA in May. I really wish I could go to the April Mark Hoover's the Florida hunt. I tell you, keep buying my lottery tickets. Joe DeMarco's digging South Jersey DSJ. I hope to go there. Windsor, the Sun Parlor Treasure Seekers in Leamington. That's in July 27th. Glenn Booles, who's again another digging partner out in Fergus. We're getting registered for that tomorrow. That's July 27th. That's like Windsor way, close to I think it's Windsor, Detroit border, the U.S.-Canadian border. Radio World, that's Canada's Mine Lab and Garrett distributor. He's in Toronto. He has the April 13th, the show and tell. And I got to mention this. Anyone swinging a Mine Lab, there is a video contest. You make a video up between March 1st and the 31st, and there's a nice prize pack. Tell you to say why do you like your Mine Lab detector. But Radio World usually has a summer hunt, and last year they put out the Canadian Metal Detecting Championship, and that was in Wasaga Beach. That was late fall. That was a bit chilly with wet snow up at Wasaga Beach. I would love to go to Detectorville over in the UK. I know some of the East Coasters, Dean, they come down to Toronto all the way from the East Coast a couple of times. Great people. Again, people that I love detecting with. And they're going over, and that's one thing I would love to go. One of the ring finds, there was a young lady from Australia visiting, and I found her engagement ring up in Parry Sound. And she's offered, anytime I go to Australia, I get to stay at the North Shore, baby, Aussie land. That would be awesome. But again, going to Florida, going back to Scuba Wise. I'd love to try gold panning up with the Arctic Diggers. Daniel Camacho up in the North Pole, and CB, Arizona maybe. There's so many things out there, even the Garrett Memorial, or some of I just saw that there was the Penguin dig.
Yeah, they just finished that. Yeah.
Just to hang out with good people, and I don't care what I find, just have an adventure with my detector and good people.
Well, I tell you what, we would love to have you down our way if you are ever through the Mid-South and Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. You got an open invitation to come and hunt with Jeff and I, and I'll even put you up on in our houseboat on Dale Hollow Lake, so you won't have to worry about a motel bill or anything like that. But we just love to meet you and get to hunt with you.
No, we may kidnap you.
Yeah, we may kidnap you. You may not get to go back.
Well, I don't have anyone to keep me here other than my kids, and they're on their own paths, but you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you
thank
what.
You.
You've been
added to my bucket list now.
Yeah. You've been an absolute wonderful guest. There's no doubt about it. And everybody that listens to this show, they're going to fall in love with you. I know that they are. But we've had a fantastic February, and what a way to wrap it up, to have Alison Walker on tonight from Canada. All the great calls that we had, just all the people in the chat and everything. What can you say about it, Jeff?
I really don't know. I'm speechless. This has been a great show. It really has. And I've enjoyed this month. Of course, unfortunately, I missed last week's show because a good friend of mine had a stroke. And Of course, thanks everybody for the prayers that you sent this way, and of course, thanks for Lori Gagne, Carlotta, and Gypsy, and Carolyn, and Allison. Thank you guys for being here for the February.
What a stellar lineup that we've had. We are the most fortunate rednecks that have ever been, but a lot of this is, all of this right here is Mark Hoover. Mark Hoover is the one that put all of these shows together for us, and a great debt of gratitude to him, and we affectionately call him half redneck. He ain't a whole redneck yet, but
yeah, he lives in Orlando.
Yeah,
definitely a class act, all of you, and I'm really inspired by everyone. I watch everyone, their YouTube channels, Mockpot and Redbeard and Man Plus River, Michael Oliver in the U.S. Quarter Hoarders, one of my favorite. Adventures in Digging Canuck, Relic Dirty Hands, the Ring Finders, even Joe Beechnut. He doesn't put out enough videos, but man, does he have ring finds. Captain Fizz and Captain Bradley and Mark Littleton, Jury, Makita I think he was from Holland. I haven't seen him around. Matt and Maddie, New Jersey. And just there's so many people all over this world that just, you know what, everyone, I hope you keep inspiring others, but inspire kids, get them off the computers and learning about history. That's another one of my goals, just to be good people, ethical, honest, and just keep inspiring and just, be the best you can be.
Well said. Very well said.
And pay it forward.
Yeah, and pay it forward. And pay it forward in pink, she says. If you'll hold on the line, Jeff and I will talk to you a little bit. Let me go ahead and close the show out here. We do appreciate everybody listening to tonight's show. What a wonderful guest, Alison Walker. And if you like podcasts like this, check out Beyond Sight and Sound with Josh Kimball every Sunday night and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Also check out All Metal Mode with Mike Hare and Gypsy Jules, one of our guests this month. Gypsy was. They're on Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, and then American Digger Relic Roundup with Butch Holcomb, Jeff Lupert, and me on Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, and then Hardcore Metal Detecting with Derek Asklar and Craig Talley. They're on Thursday night and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then XP Team USA with Dave Kimball and Grant Hansen. They're on every other Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. And obviously me and Jeff will be back on here next Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern as well. So we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other podcast outlets. Relics Radio is also syndicated on GoodTalkRadio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with Seven or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook group page or Adventures in History on Facebook. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to relicsradio@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us for our next episode, and until then, get out there and dig some history.